Hello and good morning. I am Andy McCann, your host here on Fitness, Food, and Finance, where I'm trying to help you lay a foundation, a firm foundation in those three things. And it is Monday the 16th. This will come out a week later, so you're listening to this a little bit behind me. That's okay. We had a lot of cool stuff happen. I'm going to run through those. I'm going to throw down a couple of member PRs and talk a few things on the gym. And then we're going to dive right into the 5 pillars of health and fitness is how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. And I'll throw an extra one in there, wealth. If you don't have wealth, then your wealth expectancy, life expectancy portion goes way down. You need to have that too. So we'll cover some of that. These are principles that you can use to move the needle. Many people ask me, Andy, what can I do to be, let's say, what can I do to lose weight? What pill can I take? What drink can I have? What philosophy can I follow? And I ask them the simple things. Have you done the biggest thing first? Stop eating crap. Most food isn't food. Stop eating it. It's entertainment. When you do that, then I would say move on. But it doesn't start with a pill. It starts with the actions you take, which weirdly, people feel like they don't want to do. Anyway, we're going to cover all that. It's going to, I'll cover some of my journey. We'll talk about real food. We'll talk about water, doing the 2-week tracking challenge, some other rules. If I can, I'll put sleep in here with it. And basically that you should be getting like 8 hours of sleep each night. Everybody's different. For you, it might be 7 or it might be 9, but we're going to talk through that. And I'm going to give you some of the methods that you can use to facilitate some of that better sleep. Okay, but before we do that, guys, if you're here local in Woodstock, then come to CrossFit Garage. We are across the street from Black Rifle Coffee on 92. Or a little bit down the street from First Baptist Woodstock. If you're here, you know where that church is. That church, I say it all the time because it's a mega church. It's like the Death Star has come down to the planet. It is massive. Anyway, so you should probably know where that is if you're in Woodstock. If you are not in Woodstock, then you can go to garagefitness.online and see our programming there. It does assume you have a full gym. If you don't have a full gym, then instead go to our website and then gym information and then WOD, which stands for workout of the day. And we have a home option for you. I also put all of our free resources on CrossFitGarage.com/free. You can go in there and see all the stuff I've been making for either this podcast or people or the bit I do for this one right here, The Survival Podcast with Jack Spirko. He's into lifestyle design. And if you're watching this, you see right here the Thursday episode, Expert Counsel. This is what I'm on every other week-ish. I do about a 7-minute bit on health and fitness. Some huge shout-outs. Let's see. Aaron and Matt did the Sun Valley Everesting, or the 20029, going up, 5,800 feet, something like that? And, no, it's more than that, because they went up 15 times at a mile, so it's 15, I don't know, it's really high up there. And if you can see in the pictures here, basically you put on a bib, put on a hat possibly, and you start hiking up this mountain. You get to take the gondola down, so that's nice, but it doesn't give you that much of a break. Oh, here it is right there. So it's 1.6 miles up, and you do that 15 times. And it looks like it's 24 miles covered, so that is a lot. I feel like Everest can't be, is that 24 miles up? That doesn't make any sense. That would be in space, right? 24 miles, I need to look that up. How high is Mount Everest? Anyway, so here's the stats, and if I type in Vincent, you see he made all 15, and Decker, he made all 15 as well. It is not an easy thing, but way to go, guys. I look forward to hearing the stories. September 20th, we have the Blairsville Adventure Race. Come join us. There's like 5 of us from the gym and another 5 friends that are doing it. On the same day is the Blitz Savage Race. So that's an muddy obstacle race. So these things are similar-ish. They're both challenges. They make you have fun. One of them is about 2 hours long, and then ours, the bear, is 10 hours long. You may be thinking to yourself, how can I possibly do that? It's actually not that tough. The Savage Blitz is a bit more like a race. You're trying to move through time. I mean, the bear is a race, but it's a slower race. At 10 hours, you can't run the whole time. It's a lot of walking. Anyway, it should be a lot of fun. We also have, let's see, will this come out before? It will. On the 28th, we have got our gym get-together at the McCann farm. So do the RSVP via our email. If you are a member at the gym, bring your family, bring yourself, and we'll have a good time. Usually on the weekends now, Randy and I have set up a thing with his leadership to go bike Saturday mornings. So if you're open and available, we should be trying to meet 8 a.m. at Rope Mill and bike as much as you can. So take a peek at that. We also have our group me's. We have our summer gamers. It's D&D and board games. Our pickleball group. A men's group that is about other adventures. The race and competitors group. A homesteading group, which is all of us chicken people and gardeners. And some other stuff. So take a look there. All right, some call outs that I want to give you. We've got a lot of personal records being hit. Most of them are from the kids and the summer strength because they've never really lifted, and we keep them light as we move them up. But with good form, they're adding PRs. There's a ton of them. Evan Burns, Garrett Lees, David Moore, Marshall Decker, Warren Decker, Lucas Pedersen, Skyler, who is a adult member. He got a 3-second PR on the 400-meter run. Stuart Brady, 5 a.m., he got a 25-pound PR on the hang power clean. Dude, that's huge. We got a couple more in there. Finn from on the bench press from Summer Strength. Jacob Pavlich and Kenny, who is Lucas and Kenny are brothers. They're crushing it. I got a couple more. Hope Nixon with the deadlift. And let me slide forward. How do I do that on this sheet? Oh, I just scroll down. I just scrolled down. That's it. Sukania got a 15-pound PR on her front squat. Kristen Lee, 30-pound PR on her hang power clean. Josh Ross, 45-pound PR on his hang power clean. That sounds like you forgot to log something, dog. That's a big jump right there. Good job. His front squat went up by 25 pounds. Dude, that is awesome. Keep it up. Guys, this is why we do what we do. Kate Decker, 9-pound PR on her front squat. I love it when it's an odd number like that. That means she's really drilling down into the change plates and finding those last numbers. Oh, and here's one of my favorites. Rebecca Gerard, hang power clean, a 1-pound PR to get to 120 pounds. That is awesome. Brady Watkins on the front squat, 10-pound PR. Guys, this is why we do this. We measure and we do because we can then see the progress. Does this speak to their fitness? Well, if you lift like we lift, then yes. But this is on the heavy side. And lifting heavy strength is fitness for sure. Okay. With that, I am going to jump into our talk for today. I did a presentation last November at the Survival Podcast Fall Workshop out in Dallas, Texas area. And this is that presentation with new takes on it because it's been... See, that would be like 8 months ago that I did this. So we're going to walk through the slides as a template, but I'm going to give you the latest and greatest of what I've got. And I probably should put this in there. If you don't know me, I'm an electrical engineer from Georgia Tech that went into tech sales. About 2010, I started getting really involved in the homesteading, the better food, the how to be healthier. And anyway, I listened to this guy, Jack Spirko, a lot. And I've got a lot of great, Jack, you jerk, I did a thing because of you. And some of it is this health and fitness, and we're going to go through that. In the effort to find the best egg you could ever eat, I now make my own eggs. So I have a chicken farm, so we call it the McCann farm, but it's really the McCann buffet. I tried raising ducks, that was no good. I tried bees, that was no good. And I sometimes garden. I don't really enjoy it, but I do scatter and pray. Okay. This was a little crowd pleaser, just a fun thing to do, but I think I'd like to do it with you guys because if you're driving or doing chores, you can play along, and it's just kind of fun. You can then give this to somebody else. I love having dumb dad jokes or magic tricks or whatever that I can do as, little crowd pleasers, just something to entertain. So this is something to entertain. If you are sitting next to somebody and they're listening to the same podcast, don't answer out loud. Keep everything in your head, otherwise... the fun of the thing will be lost, okay? So, in the end, after this, I am going to read your mind through this podcast or YouTube video, whatever one you're watching, and I'm going to tell you the answer that you have stored in your brain. The crazier part is, if you're near somebody and they're doing this too, you're going to look at them and say, no way, all right? And I'll explain why. Well, you'll know why at the end. All right, here we go. Pick a number 1 through 9. Again, pick a number 1 through 9. It doesn't matter what you pick a number. Multiply that number by 9. If it's a 2-digit number, for example, let's say you picked a number, multiplied it, and it was 15. Add the 1 and the 5 together to get 6. So whatever your number was, pick a number, multiply by 9. If it's 2 digits, add the digits together. Subtract by 5. If A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, and so forth, pick the letter that goes with that number. All right, I'm going to go back through that because sometimes people get confused there. Pick a number 1 through 9. If you have a hard time here, just pick a number 2 through 3. So it's not too hard to multiply. Multiply by 9. If it's 2 digits, add the 2 digits together. For example, 15 becomes 1 plus 5 is 6. Subtract 5. If A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, etc., pick the letter that goes with that number. Okay, now that you've got that, think of a European country that starts with that letter. Pause this and you can take your time to think. I'm going to move on. Take the second letter of that country and think of a 4-legged African animal that starts with that letter. Now think of the color of that animal. All right, drum roll, please. Did you think of a gray elephant from Denmark? I know, pretty cool. Most people do that. It's like if you ask somebody, give me a color, and if they, no, if you say, what is it? Say red, and then tell them, tell me the first handy tool you come up with. Something like that. Usually they say hammer. I'm butchering that, but it's weird. Some things inject different stuff into your brain. And there's a math trick. You'll always be D, but then there's not very many countries that start with D, especially if you limit it to Europe, and then of course E for elephant and all that. So it's more. I already knew what you were going to pick before you were going to pick it because I am the one creating the rules, and that's sort of what we're talking about today. Don't let them control you by creating rules that you have to follow. You don't have to follow them if you don't want to. Make your own rules up. All right, so when we go through these pillars, which one should you start with? It's really whatever is the worst for you or the easiest for you or that lands you on your sticky why. If you don't have a good why for what you're doing, none of this is going to make sense. For example, my sticky why, it took me a long time to come to it, is I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids' in soccer. Okay, so let's break that apart. I want to be healthy and fit enough. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that I'm taking steroids or anabolic steroids, right? I might be doing hormone replacement therapy someday, but I'm not injecting myself with horse growth stuff, right? Or whatever. I'm not taking shortcuts to get further down the road. I'm not super strong. I don't need to be. I'm not super runny because I don't need to be. I need to be healthy and fit enough. I am making better choices to eat, right? It's those things. It looks a lot like I look right now. So I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, to coach my kids need to want me around. And my grandkids need to want me around. So I kind of got to stop being a dick. Now, I don't think I'm a dick, but I can come across as very asshole-like. And I think it's because as a guy or maybe an engineering guy or something, maybe a little tism, I don't know. I just don't really feel like I have the same emotions as most people. Things happen and I'm like, they happen. Or I don't know. It may not be emotions. It may just be stoicism. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do know this. I don't, at least for 50% of the population, I don't really understand the emotions of most women. Is that a problem? No, it's just different. I just don't see it. But I know that now, and I work hard to address that. So, for example, talking with my kids, and one of them said that you really put pressure on me to get good grades, yet you never say good job with the grades. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. I have made it a very fine point in my life after listening to a couple books early on before having kids to never say good job with the A. Instead, I say, I love the effort you put into your grades. And for me, I was saying, yes, I'm glad you make good grades, but I appreciate the effort that you're doing. Good job. But they weren't hearing that. They were hearing, a push towards the grade and a lack of appreciation, which is baffling. But that's the reality. So we talked about it. I, of course, told them that's not what I was trying to say, and I am sorry. This is what I'm trying to say. Does it make sense? And not really, but at least it's out there in the open. Okay. So you have to have a sticky why. Part of mine is being healthy and fit. Part of mine is having a family that enjoys each other. And the other part is coaching soccer. Does it need to be soccer? No, but it's something that would bridge the gaps. So I am not teaching them how to dial a rotary phone, right? That they don't care. I know how to do that, but they don't know what that is. I'm not teaching them to use a pager, right? I'm teaching them something relevant to them and is relevant to me. So it's not something brand new that I couldn't teach them with, like, hey, let me teach you how to play Fortnite, yeah, or the latest version of it. I probably can't do that. But soccer is timeless. I'm sure they're going to still be playing soccer in, I don't know, I'll probably have grandkids at least in 20 years, right? Probably sooner than that. And it'll be around. The rules will be the same. And I already know those rules. So I could probably teach them. So I need to be healthy and fit. I need to be likable. And I need to be relevant. That's a really good sticky Y for me. All right. So that's the thing. And I have a future vision. I have the picture in my head. All right, let me move on here. I said this last week, but it's true. CDC says you're healthy by the absence of disease. I think that's dumb. You're healthy with the absence of disease. I would rather say you can be healthy even with the disease if all of your markers and your abilities are above what most people can do. So weirdly, what is health? It's better than most people, right? So that'd be a weird one. Could we? It should be defined in numbers, but most people fall off of that and they just change them downward to be above the average, right? So I would go along with what CrossFit said. It's work capacity across a broad time and modal domain throughout your life. What does that mean? Broad time, so 1 minute to 15 minutes to an hour, I don't know. And modal, the motion domains. So I'm running, I'm lifting, I'm playing pool, whatever. How am I doing that through life? The crazy part when I wrote this thing is the 50% of the people that you know in your birth year will be dead by the age of 76. That, since doing this a year ago with, I guess, all the deaths from the 2 weeks to slow down the curve, has dropped. If you're a man and your life expectancy now is 72, so it's dropped by 4 years, which is insane. There's another model that Greg Glassman proposed through the CrossFit community, and that was, think of an arch or a rainbow. On the left side, you have sickness. On the right side, you have fitness. In the middle is wellness. This is where people aim for. I would say aim for fitness, because when you become sick and your blood pressure goes up, you're just well now. When you become sick and your heart rate goes up, you're just well now. When you get sick and your muscle mass drops, you are just well now. So if you push your statistics, your stats into fitness, then you can use that as a hedge against the sicknesses that you get. So that as your body is fighting something, you're just moving into what everyone else would consider well. Yes, for you, it does feel off, but it's still better than most people. So I love that little continuum. So use fitness as a hedge against sickness. All right, on to the eating. Here we go. Answer these out loud to the person beside you. Text it to me. Put it in the show notes or whatever, the comments. That's fine. Do you drink sugar? I said this the other week on the Survival Podcast bit. It'll show up eventually. But one of the very first things I would do if I was trying to get healthy is I would stop drinking sweet. Sugar, yes, but all of it. I would stop drinking honey. I would stop drinking NutraSweet, saccharin, monk fruit, all of that. Stop putting sugar liquid form or sweet liquid form through your mouth and on your tongue, because it is the entry drug to almost everything. If you can get rid of that, you'll get rid of most of your calories almost immediately. And you're thinking, well, wait, I do xylitol. It doesn't have any calories. Yes, but you eat the stupid shit that goes with it that has all the calories. So just stop eating sugar. Another weird one. When you stop eating sugar, your tongue is going to change the way it expresses the taste that it has. I'll eat something with the family. I'm like, ooh, that tastes sweet. And they're like, no, not at all. Turns out that whatever it was is a little bit sweet if your tongue can get off of sweet. So food tastes different and it tastes better. Next one would be stop eating fast food. So do you eat fast food? If the answer is yes, then you're screwing yourself over. Stop eating fast food. If it has a drive-through window, don't eat there. Most fast food isn't even food. If you left it out, it wouldn't eat it. There's a famous picture of somebody putting out, what was it? They put out a hamburger and some fries, I think. And the ants just left it alone. They wouldn't even eat it. You can also leave out a hamburger and fries for a decade, and all they do is shrink in size. They don't mold because they're not food. Even the mold doesn't want it. They don't even degrade because, again, they're not food. It's like plasticky bits. I don't even know what it is, but it's definitely not food. So if you're eating fast food, stop. If you want a chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit from Chick-fil-A, go inside. Yeah, I know it's violating the rule. You're still eating at a place with a drive-through window. But at least it's taking you some time, and maybe you'll think twice. Better than that is make your own chicken, egg, and cheese biscuit. It'll probably cost way less and taste way better. Do you drink less than 6 glasses of water a day? Well, then you should drink more water. I'm not saying you have to just pound 6 glasses of water right in the morning, although that would be one way to get it done. I would drink before you eat, and then drink while you eat. That's 6 right there. Coffee, unfortunately, doesn't really count. I mean, it can, I suppose. It's better than nothing, but I would still be drinking water. If you're drinking water straight from the tap, yeah, this is the weird thing where they're like, hey, tap water may not be that great for you. I would use the Berkey filter systems. I've got our house currently is on a well. That well goes into a filtration system. We then have other filtration in case people want it. Some people are like, I don't like well water. I don't like this filtration, whatever. We can then put it through this Berkey. It looks like a big coffee pot or coffee maker. Well, it's not even that. It's just a big silver cylinder in 2 parts. One of the parts has the filters, and you put water in, and then it drips through, uses gravity, right? No moving parts, and then it drops to the bottom. Well, it does have one moving part, the spigot. Drink some water. Drink quality water. Try to get away from, I'm just drinking fluorinated, spiked water. If you actually, what did they say? If you do a test on city water, it is laced with a lot of chemicals because people pour their medicines down the toilet and flush. So watch out for that. Okay, another favorite one of mine, but most everyone hates this. Does your belly get in the way? If you go to tie your shoes and you can't because your belly's in the way, so you have to put your foot in a different position, or you wear Velcro shoes, or you wear shoes without any shoelaces, then that's probably an indicator that you're eating poorly. I do have a podcast. You can hot link it right there, or actually, I guess if you're listening, just go search how to lose 10 pounds. And there's a funny story in that one too of a lady who wanted to do the wrestling route. If those that wrestled, you know you can lose 10 pounds in a day, but it's the dumbest thing in the world. So yeah, don't do that. All right, so things that you should do around the idea of eating. One is eat real food, which is mostly on the edges of the grocery store. Some of you that saw this presentation, you're going to go, Andy, wow, it's pretty much the same information. Yes, because the basics don't change. It's not how you eat, sleep, go to Mars, and think and connect. It's the normal 5 things that it's always been. So you're going to get most of the same stuff. I'll give you some updates here on a couple things like the lion diet, but yeah, it's not complicated, but I admit it is not easy. So it is kind of hard, though you just have to start. One of the first things I would do is eat on the edges of the store, get real food. If it had a face, that is awesome. If it didn't have a face, then it may not, for me, it's not food anymore. It's just entertainment, so I don't do vegetables, but that's me. We're on the carnivore diet, me and Evan, to help him with his Crohn's, his stomach diagnosis. But I don't know if I would really recommend the lion diet or the carnivore diet to most people because it's so restrictive. That's 0 carbs. I would probably do the ketovore or, what's the other one? Just get into ketosis, basically. So it's under 100 carbs. Or for some of you, it might be under 20 carbs, but at least it allows for some carbs. I kind of like with that guy from Metabolic Freedom, it's Ben Hazad or Hazadi or something like that. He talks about cycling in and off of carnivore. So do it for like a week or 2 and then jump off it for a day or 2 and then go back on. This will help your body remember how to burn carbs appropriately. We talked about this above, 1 glass of water before eating. That's just a great way to 1, get your water in, and 2, prep your stomach for, I don't really need to eat that much. Less sugar or no sugar will be my thing, and less seed oils or no seed oils. So the weird thing on seed oils, I don't even understand how they came about into our food stream because most of the oils that are out there were developed for the heavy industry world or were a byproduct of something disgusting that they then said, I don't know, maybe people can eat it, but we shouldn't be eating it. And I've talked about this one a lot, the carnivore and the lion diet. So you can go listen to Dr. Ken Berry. It's a hyperlink here. And carnivore basically says, I'm pretty much just eating protein and fat. You could slide some carb in there by accident, but its idea is 0 carb. The Lion diet is more specific. It says it's only ruminant meat, salt, and water. That's it. Evan did that for 4 months, and at that time he said, Dad, there is a change. I feel it right around the 4-month mark. And he started gaining weight again. So he was fighting off some sort of irritable bowel diagnosis. They said it looks like Crohn's, but not exactly. So we sort of treated it in that regard. We hired a group, Josh Detch, out of the Gut Health Solution, followed him and did the Lion diet. And like I said, after 4 months, we saw some pretty good results. Evan is still doing both, though he is adding different food groups in. One of his favorite food groups is local honey. He just sucks the honey right out of the jar. It's good on calories and it gives him a sweet fix. I don't have that sweet fix because I was off of sugar for the last 15 years, or I guess 18 years now, 16, something like that. A long time before doing this, so it wasn't a problem for me. Another good trick so you will stop being too hungry is before you go eat, about 10 to 15 minutes, eat 5 almonds. Now, it may not be 5 for you. It may be 4, 3, or 6. Who knows? You have to just experiment, but it's usually about 5. Eat 5 almonds about 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. The reason why is your stomach and your brain's nervous system talky bits, so communication ports, they lag each other by about 10 to 15 minutes. Everybody's a little bit different, so you have to experiment with yourself. But this will tell your stomach, hey, I'm not as hungry as I thought I was. You can slow it down. It's just a nice little way to cheat the system by putting something a little bit healthy inside of you. Nothing wrong with almonds, unless, of course, you're allergic to almonds. The other big one is to build habits around what you're doing. I would say the biggest pieces to help any of the change, food or any of the change, is to say, I am a person who eats healthy. Once you've denoted yourself as that type of person, then you make those healthy choices. If you say something like, I can't eat dessert, it's not as powerful as something like, I don't eat dessert, or I am a person that chooses healthy food. When you say it in the positive framework, it puts you in charge rather than the negative in charge. So build the habits. And one way to do that is to have positive self-talk. So on the idea of habits, I did go into, in this, I'll go shortly into this guy right here. It's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's kind of the original work that everybody goes back to, but he actually stole it from Dale Carnegie, the How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then Dale stole his stuff pretty much from like biblical principles and stuff. So the stuff you're reading isn't new. It just is made more relevant and up to date, as well as maybe wordsmithed a bit better. Other books that I would really take a look at are Atomic Habit by James Clear and The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, something like that. And they're going to go through something called the habit loop. You have a cue and a ritual, or the routine. Cue, ritual, and reward. And this is the stuff that you're trying to unravel when it comes to a habit. And of course, on the right here, there's a picture of some blocks stacked. That is habit stacking. So what is a cue, ritual, and reward? The cue would be, I wake up. The routine is, I get myself some coffee. The reward is the stimulation of the brain, or it could be the enjoyment of something warm, or I'm sitting down and looking at the sun, right? So you take those 3 things, you write down the who, what, where, when, why, how, and what am I thinking, all of that stuff, who am I with, and you start changing those things out to see what is the keystone bit of it. The cue, I have to wake up. If I don't wake up, none of this happens. So it could be waking up. It could be I like making coffee, or it could be, let's go with, I slow down and sit on the porch and let the sun hit me in the face. That's the reward, I guess, we're getting. Okay, so I would start changing that. What if I changed my wake-up time? What if I changed my wake-up routine? What if I did something different with the wake-up portion? Does that allow me, in this case, I want to stop drinking coffee so much. Does it allow me to break the habit of making coffee? Let's not change that. Let's wake up on time and I'm going to go make tea. If I made tea instead of coffee, does it give me the same fix? If not, I need to try something else. So now you see I'm changing the ritual or the routine. I'm making something else. Maybe I wake up and instead of making coffee, I go for a run, or I go immediately to the gym and work out. Changing the routine, changing the ritual, or the reward. Can I give myself the same reward without the stuff in front of it? So I wake up, I drink a glass of water and I stretch, And then I go out on the porch and I let the sun hit me in the face and I have my slow down moment. Did that satisfy the need? If it did, then you're good. That's it. That's what you wanted. So you want to break those apart and change each of them and keep some of it the same to see what is the aspect that is most important. In this case, with the coffee, I want to break the routine of caffeine. Okay, how do I do that? This is how you map out that habit loop and see which ones you can change and keep the same and what helps. The other one is habit stacking. Again, like I said, the keystone habit on this one is easy. I have to wake up. If I don't wake up, then there's no chance of me making coffee. Now, it may even be I need to wake up at a certain time. If it's past a certain time, too early, too late, then maybe this routine of making coffee doesn't make any sense. Is that the habit? Possibly. It could be I went into the kitchen and started the coffee maker. Well, again, you already heard the first part. I went into the kitchen. Could I avoid going into the kitchen and then I wouldn't make the coffee, right? Could I move the coffee maker to a different outlet that's in the laundry room, right? You can do different things to change it up. You also need to identify, again, that keystone habit, the one that launches it all. For example, I brush my teeth. Oh no, I need to floss. Okay, so I floss and then brush my teeth. What's the keystone habit? I go to brush my teeth. Nope. It's I'm going to bed. Because if you don't go to bed, you're never going to brush your teeth. So that's a big part of it right there. Okay, I'm going to probably end it right here with the journey of my weight. So a couple times I made it up to 185 pounds fat and went back down to around 155, 160. The first time I just went, I don't know, I was going ape. I was just eating a lot and decided, you know what? I should probably stop eating sugar. My wife and I made a bet. It was probably 16, 17, 18 years ago. Over New Year's, we watched a movie. I guess I could look up the thing, Sugar, the documentary. It was probably around then. It might have not been in that one. It just sticks in my head. Anyway, we said, let's not eat sugar for as long as we can. I made it about a year and a half and then said, what am I doing? This is dumb. And I went full tilt back into sugar. I was going to Chick-fil-A, getting 6 warmed up cookies and a large chocolate milkshake. Yeah, and I was going big time into it. So I went from pretty dang healthy to ramping back up into my fatness. So then I said, all right, I need to get off of sugar. I was down at the Great Wolf Lodge with the kids and decided, this isn't even food. What am I doing? And right then and there on vacation, which was really dumb, I decided I'm going to get off of sugar. In order to get off of sugar, I had to get off of grains. Grains apparently was an entry drug for me. So I had to get off of grain. When I got off of sugar and grain, I also had to give up alcohol because, alcohol is basically sugar, grain, grain alcohol, right? So not a big deal. As you get older, alcohol becomes less of a thing, so I haven't had alcohol in a very long time. But I was, no matter where I went, asking them, give me your darkest beer. If it was too early in the morning, they'd be like, no. But I would get whatever dark beer they had. I was eating like a death row inmate. I was a wreck doing that. So it's been about 15 years, no bread, no sugar, probably longer than that. I started tracking my food because Levi said we should track our food. I want to eat more protein. Let's do this thing. By tracking my food, I realized what I thought I was eating that was healthy wasn't as healthy as I thought, which is why I tell people all the time. I'm not a huge fan of working with people one-on-one. If you want to, I will. I'm $1,000 an hour. Or track your food for 2 weeks, and let's talk about that. I'll help you for free. The reason is when you track your food like I did right here, you learn a ton of stuff about yourself and what you're doing right and wrong. So I learned a bunch of stuff and I made those changes. I then bumped into Ken Berry, Dr. Ken Berry, who also does a bit on the Survival Podcast as an expert counsel, but he has made his name into the carnivore guy or carnivore doctor. You can see here on this screenshot that I did, he's got 3.26 million subscribers, which is a bazillion times more than I will ever have. And from him and Evan's diagnosis, we found the lion diet. So we started down the lion diet, which is, again, just ruminant meat. So that's basically biblical meat. It's things that ruminate. So it has 4 stomachs. It eats grass, converts it into proteins and muscles. For whatever reason, animals that have ruminating digestion systems, the meat is better and easier to process. So Evan and I have done this. Like I said, he has turned himself around. He's home for the summer right now and eating a lot more food and gaining weight. I expect when he goes back to college this time, he'll be on some pretty good footing. The thing is, he knows now I'm probably never going back to the way I was because that wasn't even food. Levi said, hey, let me give this a try. I see the success with you. I have got some skin anomalies that are happening, and I don't know why. Maybe this will help. He's going down the same journey. It's been maybe a month. He's had some success, but not as much as he would like. And again, sometimes this stuff takes time. So that's the route we're on. I am still doing the carnivore diet. It's been about 11 months of basically just ruminant meat, goat cheese, eggs, salt, and coffee. I eat the same things every day for the last 11 months. I'm still alive. I've lost weight. Actually, weirdly now, I'm kind of gaining weight. I got to drop my calorie count down. I'm doing about 4,000 calories a day. And apparently you can eat too much protein and fat. I do work out almost every day, and it feels weird. That has gone away quite a bit, but it took probably 6 months for that weird energy feeling to go away. I can still work out the same, but burning fat instead of carbs feels very different. I can still do long races. I can still do short workouts. It doesn't really matter. I can do it. I just have to know that, okay, it's just a feeling. I'll get through it and I'll be okay. I have upped my salt intake dramatically, as well as just the electrolyte mixture. I usually have a bottle here that's got my mixture in it of magnesium, potassium, and salt. When I went and did blood work, which I'll go do again probably this fall, it said everything was A-okay. So I'm doing stuff that they would say is bad, and everything is good. I even went and got I think it's a CAC score, the coronary artery clogged score or something. Anyway, put you in a machine, and it goes whomp, and they measure the pressure of all of your arteries and veins. I actually don't know what all is going on, but they give you a score. 0 is great on the 5 metrics. Anything above 0 is not great. That means you've got scarring. Mine was 0 on everything, and they're like, yeah, you're good. I did not tell them how I eat. The most recent thing I'm doing, and I'll do this again in about a week or two, is I'm trying this thing where you give blood every 8 weeks. So a little bit more than 8 weeks. I'll probably do like 8.5 weeks or 9 weeks just to make sure I'm not cutting it too close, to see if I can get my blood to replenish itself and make new, better blood. So when you're low in blood, your body makes blood. Is that good? Is it helpful? I don't know. They say possibly. I'm also doing those foot baths. And I'm considering doing some of those hydration IV things where they stick you with an IV and they just pump you full of stuff. The reason is, as your blood becomes viscous, you hit some problems. So I want a more flowy blood. How do you do that? I'm working on it. And if it works, I'll tell you guys. Okay, so that's me in a nutshell and what I've been doing. There is some bits. I guess I should do this one too. So cholesterol. It's a weird thing. They're going to tell you, hey, your cholesterol is no bueno. You need to fix it. So my HDL is 93 when I did this measurement. My LDL is 201. So together it's about 300. People are going to say, dog, that's bad. You're going to die. No, not really. So when they do this LDL, you have to ask them, hey, will you do the advanced lipid study? So LDL, it's a LD lipid something, whatever. So the L stands for lipid. So give me the advanced, oh, there it is right there. It's low density lipoprotein, lipoprotein. So your lipoprotein study. I want the advanced one. What do they do then? They take your LDL and they put it under a microscope and they look at it. LDL isn't bad. You need cholesterol. LDL is a transport of an energy system of fat. If I'm only burning fat, I will have a lot of LDL. LDL and HDL clean out your bloodstream. I have great arteries because I have a lot of healthy cholesterol. Your brain is mostly cholesterol. You have to have cholesterol. So if you do the advanced lipid study, they're going to then measure it and say, hey, what is the size of your particles? You want buoyant and large LDL. If you look at this chart right here, mine is off the chart. So they stopped measuring at 20.5 nanometers. Mine on average were 22.1 or bigger. So they're like, yeah, you're fine, no problem. Then they do another measurement that's like LDLP, whatever that is, right? They're saying, hey, if it's above 30.5, then we don't care. Mine was nearly 40. So LDL, even though the measurement comes up as a red flag, like on this scale that they've got, blue is super awesome, then there's green, yellow, orange, and red. Red is like very high and you're going to die. It's anything above 200. Mine's above 200, right? You're bad. That's a misnomer. You have to get the other one because then they can tell you, oh, never mind, that's a false positive. You don't need it. or you don't need to worry about it. So make sure you get the second one, the advanced lipid study, not just the one right there. Okay, so we'll end it there. It's just been a fascinating ride for me. If you guys need help here, you can hire me. I'm $1,000 an hour. I will help. I'll probably start with saying track your food, let me see it for 2 weeks, and go join a CrossFit gym. You can do all that on your own. You don't need me to tell it to you for $1,000 an hour. I just told it to you. Go do that, and then come talk to me. I'll help you for free. Track your food. If you do that, start at a CrossFit gym. Just listen to the coach and do a thing. I promise you they're going to help. Guys, if you're here in the Woodstock area, come to us. We are at CrossFit Garage here in Woodstock, Georgia, right across the street from Black Rifle Coffee. If you feel like, oh no, I'm alone, I got to do this on my own, go to my website, CrossFitGarage.com. You'll find my email, you'll find my phone number. I actually text people back. Matter of fact, I got a couple people that I've been texting with. I think I'm going to spend some moments today and text them and ask them how it's going. I want to help you. Yes, it is true. I probably can't help everybody, but there are those out there that can listen to this or watch the video and be like, yeah, I'm good. I can do this thing. There are those that can't. I'm here for both of you. You just need to reach out. You're not doing this alone. I am going to get to a spot eventually where it's about connection. If you don't have connection, life is going to suck. If you have some connection on the eating and the fitness and all that, it makes it so much easier. So find some connection. Guys, this is Andy McCann here with Food, Fitness, and Finance, helping you lay a firm foundation in those 3 things. If you need me, I am here for you. Take care.